I'm going to talk about influencers. I'm often living in places where influencers are friggin' everywhere. And without creating a stereotype, very good looking, young, agile, covered in tats, tanned, got a lot of stuff on board already as young 20-year-olds. So why am I talking into this? It's just a acknowledgement. I don't want to be that guy that's over 50 that complains about the generations before. I'm just noticing different patterns in the way that we interrelate. I feel like I'm the oldest one in the gym at the moment, and that's confronting, is to be at a fitness club. Every guy and every girl there looks like they should be on the front of GQ magazine. They're just like gorgeous. Like, they work at their body. They obviously have got strong diet regime. They're obviously doing lots of stuff on the side in order to make themselves look great. But what I've found is the things that I find probably confronting about influencers without having a jab is, firstly, the seriousness. I find them all quite serious. Like, everybody is so focused on their own stuff. The amount of people that are just like have got their phones on the go, videoing themselves. Now, obviously, as an influencer, that's a business. So their phone and their image and everything is their business. I don't discount that. This next generation coming through the 20s now seem to be very self-focused, very self-engaged. And some of the fitness clubs around Asia particularly, they've got sort of wet areas, wellness areas, ice baths, saunas. They've got beautiful pools with relaxing kind of beds next to them. And it's quite amazing. I feel like I'm a bit of the odd one out, and it's not better or worse, it's just different. But I walk into those arenas and I know myself that if it was a whole bunch of 50-year-olds, we'd all be chatting around the pool. And we would all be like, hey, how you going? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, I saw you working out before. I love what you were doing and those sort of things. But like, literally everyone around the pool not only looks incredible, but they also are front-facing screens the entire time. Like, there's literally no discussion going on around. It could be 30 people lying around a pool and they all are front-facing with screens like that, and just either posting or scrolling and comparing yourself versus everyone else. Obviously, that's a bad thing. It's not a great thing to be comparing yourself in your life versus others, especially when people on social are presenting their best life, which may not be the reality, and in most cases isn't. I probably am overgeneralizing, so I apologize for that if I am. It's certainly not an attack on any influencers because they've got a job. I'm just noticing the differences between generations and how we interact. And one of the things that I find difficult with and challenging is communicating with that generation, particularly who are influencers or social media kind of personalities, because they're very serious. They are not looking to interact and communicate elsewhere other than probably their own set. It's interesting. Each generation before has influences in different world economic, there's advances in technology, there's advances in platforms and media and communication avenues, which all changes everything, right? Because our wants and our needs and what we get introduced to is very different in every decade. And I'm sure in my generation of the 70s, just beyond the baby boomers, we were taught, you've just got to go get a job. You'll have that job for 25, 30 years, then you get superannuation, then you retire. You've got to get a mortgage, you've got to, as quickly as you can, get a wife, kids, those sort of things, and then you tick all the boxes, and then you're going to have a happy, successful life, and you go on holidays once a year. Pretty much it, right? Now, I guess the speed of information, the speed of sharing across the internet, the advent of AI is just wild. So people being born into this era, it must be amazing for them. They will have advantages and they'll also have some disadvantages as well. Like, never before have we had this many mental health challenges. Although maybe it just wasn't reported back in my day. Maybe there was the same level of mental health issues and challenges, but we are more aware of it now, where it's become more acceptable to talk about it. The statistics and data that looks like it's creeping like this. We lose 9 people a day in Australia, and it is the highest rate of death in Australia between the ages of 15 and 44. So there's no denying that. And that figure has climbed significantly over the last 3 decades. Anyway, talking around these differences in generations, I'm not sure really. It's more just an interest point, discussion point. And I love the work that some of these people do. Some of them shit me off sometimes, to be honest. I get a bit shitted at the fitness club when you want to work out and you've got 3 people with their stands and their phones and those sort of things, and they're getting angry with you because you're walking through their video line. And I'm like, well, this is a fitness club. It's not a photo shoot. If you wanted to do a photo shoot, why don't go to a video lounge and do it there, and then do a setup with fitness gear. But yeah, I'm always not one to kick someone just for the sake of kicking someone just because they're a different generation and things like that. I think that's the wrong way. I think it's interesting to look at why the difference. If anyone younger is watching this, trust me, I'm definitely not having a go, and I appreciate and respect you guys, especially for the amount of work and the amount of time that you dedicate to creating your craft. So anyway, it's an inquiry as to what comes up for me, what's coming up for you. All right, we'll check you later.